Squid Game isn't just a survival game, it's a psychological experiment wrapped in a high-stakes thriller. With its haunting imagery, social critique, and deep character psychology, the show taps into primal fears, economic anxieties, and the dark corners of human nature. Today, we're diving deep into the hidden messages, psychological symbolism, and emotional impact of Squid Games from Season 1. At its core, Squid Game is a study of desperation. The players aren't just competing for money, they're fighting for survival in a system designed to keep them powerless. Behavioral psychology tells us that extreme stress and financial insecurity can lead to risk-taking behaviors, impaired decision-making, and moral compromises. The show's brutal games amplify this, pushing people to their psychological limits and exposing the fragility of their morality. Each contestant represents a different facet of economic despair. Gi-hun represents the everyman trapped in a cycle of bad luck. Sang-woo, the fallen genius weighed down by shame. Se-byeok, the outsider trying to carve out a better life. Their choices throughout the game illustrate the different ways people cope with pressure. Some cling to their humanity, while others shed it entirely. The games themselves are more than just deadly childhood pastimes. They serve as psychological tests of trust, strategy, and survival instincts. Each challenge forces players into moral dilemmas, reflecting real-world social hierarchies and a ruthless competition bred by capitalism. Red light, green light is the perfect opener. It represents the initial shock of survival stress. The moment players realize their lives are on the line, fight or flight responses take over. The honeycomb game exposes patience versus panic. Those who strategize survive, while those who crack under the pressure fall. Tug of War taps into the psychology of teamwork, showing how unity and strategy can overcome physical disadvantages. The marbles game is perhaps the most devastating, a betrayal of trust disguised as a moment of friendship. It highlights the way survival forces people to make heart-wrenching choices. The glass bridge is pure randomness, mirroring the unpredictability of life and the illusion of control. Through these games, Squid Game critiques the arbitrary and cruel nature of social class mobility. Some succeed through luck, while others fall despite their best efforts. The psychological power dynamics in Squid Game are reinforced through its use of masses. In psychology, anonymity often leads to de-individuation, a phenomenon where people lose their sense of self and morality in group settings. The guards, stripped of identity, become obedient enforcers of the game, while the VIPs indulge in their twisted entertainment without guilt. Behind every golden mask lies a predator. In Squid Game, the VIPs don't just hide their faces, they flaunt their hierarchy. Psychology calls it de-individuation, when anonymity strips people of identity and sometimes humanity. The guards, cloaked in red with geometric symbols, lose themselves in obedience. But the VIPs, they revel in it. Their masks aren't just for show, they're declarations of dominance. The lion wars leadership. The bull nods to capitalism's grip. The owl, that's wisdom twisted in surveillance. These men don't just participate, they watch. From glass boxes and velvet chairs, they consume suffering like theater. Their eye holes wide open because power watches, power gazes, and what it gazes at is prey. It's a human safari where wealth hunts desperation. The gold plating doesn't just reflect luxury, it deflects guilt. They aren't masked to protect identity, they're masked to protect their detachment. Because when you're rich enough, morality becomes optional and suffering becomes sport. Meanwhile, the front man represents the corrupted soul of the system, someone who once fought to survive but now enforces the very structure that once oppressed him. His existence reflects a tragic truth. Sometimes the oppressed, when given power, become the oppressors. Gi-hun's character arc is a psychological case study in survival's guilt, post-traumatic stress, and moral conflict. Despite winning the game, he is left hollow. Money cannot erase the trauma of what he endured. His decision at the end to reject his flight and re-enter the game world suggests a psychological need for closure, or perhaps a subconscious desire to dismantle the system itself. His red hair in the final scene is an interesting symbol. Red often represents transformation, rage, and rebellion. It hints that Gi-hun is no longer just a victim of the system. He is gearing up to challenge it. Beneath the thriller, Squid Game is a biting critique of capitalist structures. The real horror isn't the game itself, it's the fact that many of the players' struggles exist in real life. The show forces us to ask, how far will we go to escape financial ruin? At what point does survival override morality? And most chillingly, how much of our own world already mirrors the cruelty of Squid Game? Squid Game holds a mirror up to society, revealing the darkest corners of human psychology and the ruthless structures that keep people trapped. Whether through its characters' choices, the symbolism of the games, or its critique of power, the show leaves us questioning not just what we will do in the game, but what we are already doing in the world outside of it. What are your thoughts on the psychology of Squid Game? Drop a comment below and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more psychological deep dives on Side Screen Perspectives.